Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be here with all of you to chat with you about ancient Egypt. Just want to get us live here on all the places. Say hello, whether you're joining live or replay. I'm super excited to be here with all of you. And I would love to know in the chat, have you ever felt a pull to Egypt? Let me know in the chat. And I'm just going to make sure we're streaming. It looks like we are. Okay. So let's jump into it, everyone. Super excited to have you here. We are going to be talking about this is the ancient Egypt initiation, retreats, sacred sites, and multidimensional vortexes. I'm going to be talking with you about how sacred sites and retreats can awaken your gifts and accelerate your ascension, as well as some personal insights and experiences that I had when I had a private retreat, when I was in a private retreat in the Great Pyramid of Egypt and some other places that I had been to on that journey as well. And just the significance of our Egyptian guides, our soul initiations. I will also be sharing about an ancient Egypt 12-day retreat that I'll be hosting as well later in 2026. And the intention of this call, last time I ran it as well, people were having activations and awakenings, right? And that is really my intention, to have this be more of an invitation than just information, to really invite you to step more deeper into the higher expression of your soul's purpose and really to experience the magic of the multidimensional Egypt and the portals and the information that is there. So say hello while you're jumping in here. I have you on a few different platforms and I'll be checking the comments as we go. But I just want to say hello in case you are new to me. My name is Jen Gilchrist and I am really honored to be here. And thank you for showing up today. I'd love to hear also how many of you have your soul calling you to travel, right? I know I've been definitely, I feel like I've always had a desire to travel, but definitely been feeling called to specific places to travel. I'd love to hear even some of the places that you've been called to, right? There's so many powerful uh, sacred spaces. And I feel like we're all have been in this initiation, especially this year and next year, just feels very expansive. 2027 by many schools of thought is like a big shifting turning point for humanity in a lot of ways. And so I feel like we're being called back to reclaim our energy, reclaim our information, and to plant seeds, to grid, to actually plant seeds into the earth and to those around us, right? We get to go to a sacred place, bring back that energy and information for ourselves, and then we actually get to share it and broadcast it out through our field to where we live, right? So in that way, that's what a light worker is, right? We're spreading and anchoring in light around the globe. And so I think that's why a lot of us star seeds and light workers really feel called to travel and explore. I love that. Been called to travel. Awesome. So my passion is really to support those of you who are on a spiritual and ascension journey, right? Specifically, I tend to work with empaths and star seeds and light workers who are here to cultivate their gifts and really live their higher soul's purpose, their highest path. And retreats in particular have been such an integral part of my personal spiritual awakening and healing journey. And now I'm so thrilled that I am supporting others through these transformational retreats as well. Because what I've noticed and witnessed for myself on my own journeys to retreats, but also in the retreats that I've held for others, is the amount of transformation that can happen in a short time is quite profound. When we get out of our own day to day life, when we get into an environment of like minded people and with the same intention and agreements, and then we add the energy of sacred portals in different locations, so much magic, healing, transformation, epiphanies, and awakenings occur. And so today I'm going to talk to you a bit more about specifically the energetic portals of ancient Egypt, and um, and really just share how the sacred land is here to support you in going deeper into your remembrance, right? So this is going to be a lot of fun. Recently, Egypt and Malta, awesome. I'm feeling called to Mount Shasta, but out of work and struggling. You'll get there, right? Keep holding that intention, right? Where I'm actually going to lead a retreat to Shasta tomorrow or next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, we're going to Shasta. I love Shasta too. All right. So Egypt, I remember too, for me, and this is actually perfect timing what I was going to share. For me, my desire to travel was really as far back as I can remember. But when I grew up, my family, we never flew on a vacation ever, right? We were living kind of check to check. My parents were young when they had us. And so we didn't really go on lavish vacations. We might take a drive a couple hours away, but that was like to Lake Tahoe or to an amusement park somewhere, something like that. But we didn't travel, right? And I'll never forget in 2009, despite my financial fears, I listened to my inner knowing and I manifested with the help of my angels and guides, my first spiritual retreat. And since then, I've pretty much gone on a retreat every year, if not multiple retreats. And it completely changed my life. And when I went to that first trip, I couldn't imagine how I was going to be able to afford it. My angels told me at the time, they gave me some guidance and information. I followed it and I was able to manifest the money. So it was really powerful. I know that your spirit guides are also they're supporting you as well. So always set the intention for your spiritual support. If you have a desire for something, there's always a way, right? Sometimes we just have to think outside of the box a little bit, and working with our angels and guides can really be helpful. But for me, traveling to Egypt was also a dream of mine for a long time, and the stirring in my heart was there. And then finally in 2022 was I was able to realize that dream. And it was more than I could have imagined, really. So if you've been feeling that nudge and you can't quite explain it, chances are Egypt is calling you too. Same with Shasta, places like that, they call you home into a space of remembrance. Okay. It's like that's kind of your soul calling you back to you, right? Likely you've incarnated there before as well. And so Egypt is definitely calling you, but maybe not as just a tourist, but as a spiritual seeker, as a priestess, as a healer, as a star seed, as to remembering your ancient gifts and purposes as well. So I'd love to just take a quick moment, just a few minutes, to just ground our energy and set the intention that this begins to open up awakening for you, just even in our time together here, going through the different sites that I'll be sharing about and experiences. Last time people were commenting for a long time later, Isis and Hathor and Thoth, we're coming to them, even whether it was during our time here or having remembrances or after the fact. So let's take a moment to just close your eyes if you can. If not, just setting your intention to just ground your energy. Take a few deep breaths with me and just ground into your body and into your heart. Beautiful. And just holding the intention that this will be soul activating, right? This will be healing, activating, or enlightening for you, right? Whatever comes out through today, just let it to be a tap to your own higher self, your own remembrance, inviting in your higher self, and maybe even your higher self from that timeline, right? That information of you in another time and space where you experienced Egypt. And just calling in our Egyptian guides of divine light as well to be here to guide this journey. The stories I share, the activations to be had, the remembrances and the awakenings within our hearts, within our soul. And so it is. Beautiful. As I mentioned, when I went to in 2022 was when I first went to Egypt. We each and every sacred site and temple was soul activating and healing and beyond the way that I could have imagined. Right, it was one of those things where I saw it. I knew I was meant to go. The teacher that was going at the time, I was like, yep, yep, I want to go with them. Right. And I kind of just couldn't even really see the page of everything we were doing. But I just knew I was meant to go. Right. And then when I looked through the itinerary, I was excited. But then when I got there, it was an entirely more expansive experience than I could have imagined. I remember walking up to a temple of Hathor in Dendera and looking over this sacred site of these powerful temples that were there, the temples of Dendera. And I was looking down over it and literally felt like I could see two different versions of this time and space. It was almost like I recalled lifetime that I was there and integrated it immediately into the lifetime there. It was like an instantaneous flipping back and forth between channels. The veil there is so thin that it's palpable. The energy is there is unlike anywhere that I've ever been. The powerful energy is just I don't see how you could not feel it, right? There's no way. Like we're sensitive empaths. I know you would, but it just feels like everybody in the planet would have to just feel something palpable because it's so big. The energy is so big, right? It's so different. But it was literally like I was flipping back between channels and I could see like this beautiful at the time when I was there in another lifetime, right? It was like a beautiful oasis and there was so much love and community. And this was this very sacred space, especially for women in particular, for birthing and for creativity. And I felt that rush even before just looking over, before even stepping foot into any of these sacred walls. I knew I had been there before. And then getting to experience the connection. It's like the energy of the walls and the hieroglyphs and the deities that are embodying the frequency there begin to work with you and talk to you and tap into you and help to really literally awaken energy within your field. Now, sacred sites, how sacred sites in general and awaken your spiritual gifts and accelerate your ascension journey, and why in particular I feel Egypt is such a powerful soul portal, right? These sites are more than just beautiful locations, they are energetic portals. They have energy, they have information, and they will accelerate your spiritual evolution, right? They amplify your gifts, they awaken gifts that you didn't even remember that you had, or take your gifts that are awakened to the next level. Another big piece of I feel why we're traveling and feel called to travel to places like Egypt is we're bringing back our soul fragments, where our energy, our information from other lifetimes, and we're clearing karmic patterns and energy from other lifetimes. Then simultaneously being able to access more of the gift and awareness of those timelines and lifetimes, right? And in the process of that, it's naturally awakening your own awareness of your soul's blueprint, right? To help you align with your higher path and purpose. And Egypt in particular is such a powerful soul portal because it's so ancient. These sites are the ancient one, the oldest one that I to my awareness is believed to be said about 5,500 years old. That's around 3,300 BC, right? And so they're living, breathing, energetic portals. They're ancient vortexes and grids that house multidimensional information and gifts that we had access to so long ago, but have forgotten, that we're being called back to through this rapid, huge global awakening that we're having at this time on Earth. Right. And if you're one of the people that feel called to awaken, it's like we're here leading and helping to bring this energy and information and healing modalities and awarenesses and gifts back to this timeline now. Right. There's also just such a deep, powerful reverence and connection to so many different Egyptian deities and ascended masters like Isis and Hathor and Thoth, Horus, Ra, Sekhmet. Right. So much about awakening that third eye and there's codes of initiation and remembrance. When you go to Egypt, it shifts you on a cellular level, right? Really, really, really powerful. And so part of that is that it's awakening your and healing your energy. You're calling your information back. You're going to start receiving downloads and what I started calling uploads from Earth, right? It started when I went to the Great Pyramid, actually. Again, clearing karma and just awakening with new insights, new information as you begin to activate your gifts and your abilities and the awareness of your higher soul's path and that remembrance of who you are. You come back and it's just incredibly life changing, right? I had a woman from my humpback whale retreat actually, something that she said is as a solo woman traveling, safety was everything to her. And she said that Jen created such a safe, nurturing space. I felt seen, I felt heard throughout the entire journey. And before the journey even began, Jen made us feel very informed and prepared. And then her wisdom and presence guided the way. And so that's something I feel very passionate about. It's important that and she went on to say that something deep shifted within her, right? Connecting to nature, connecting to herself, something greater. It was unlike anything she'd ever experienced. It was her first retreat. And, I hold this position very, I feel like these are sacred initiations for all of us. Every time I go, I'm initiated as well. And to be a part of that with those of you who are called as well is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, I remember when I first went to the King's Chamber, we had private access in the Great Pyramid before the rest of before it was open to the public. We had 2 hours within the Great Pyramid with just me and the retreat group that I was with. And we had such an incredible experience. We made our way up to the King's Chamber. And just going through it, you just feel like you can have remembrances, awarenesses. It's like you're transforming energy just in the journey of getting there. And when we got up into the King's Chamber, we did a toning and sound healing meditation together, and you could feel and hear and experience the amplification was so palpable. And I'm not typically always the most visual when I meditate, but I saw like literally our vibration and awareness just it opened up like what is already there in plain sight, but it opened up the top of the pyramid like a lotus flower. And I could just see like different layers of dimensions and star codes and light language started streaming through and like aircraft hovering. Like you could just see it was like peeking into what they said is it's hiding in plain sight. It's actually there if you have the awareness and the and information and ability to open up into that 5D and above frequency, which is what we opened up together. And it's interesting, the pyramid is like at that perfect pi, right? So it's got this the circumference of the energy of how it is there is an amplification machine. And when we brought up the energy in that way, it opened up a whole new world. It was amazing. It was like there was no end in sight. And it was just streams of sacred geometry and light codes that just forever changed me in that moment. I didn't necessarily know what it was in that moment. It really continued to unfold for me over months ahead, right? And together as a group, when we're doing that type of work, it's just, it opens up information and energy that we may not be able to access otherwise, right? Or it'd be more difficult on our own. We always have access to places, but when you're together in a powerful intention with group healing in that way, in the sacred portal in that way, with private, no other humans around, it's like it's very, very magical what happens. And then we ventured our way down to the Queen's Chamber, which felt completely different, a completely different energy. It was like I was connecting with the divinity of the earth and the earth's energy and in an entirely new way. I could feel it just coming up like tethers of like these purple tethers coming up from the earth. And this is when I started calling it uploads from the earth because I could just feel it through my leg channels and my feet. And again, I didn't know, but within when I came home, the connection there specifically transformed my energetic mastery program of my soul success unleashed program. I had a complete new upgrade for all the attunements, and the way that I teach running energy came from that meditation experience. It completely up leveled everything. And my students who had the initial version and then that version were like, wow, I love the first version, but this is like incredible because the energy just went zoom. You have a significant energetic upgrade, right? Which helps you in your day-to-day life when you come back, right? So you're going to receive activations from Isis temple, Horus temple, and sail the Nile like we did it as at one time, right? Each temple is a different chapter of your own soul book, right? I feel like if you're drawn to Egypt, you've likely had lifetimes there, right? And the significance of the guides and the soul initiations are going to be unique to each person for sure. And I'm sure every time, I go back, I get new information and information that matches where I'm at that time as well. I remember when we went there as well, we were swimming in the Nile River. We were visiting this temple and we were just sailing simply through Aswan, which I'd never even really heard of before. We were sailing on the Nile, and all of a sudden it was like all this remembrance, all this heart expansion. I could just feel my energy and information coming back. Like I felt a genuine like heart expansion happening just sailing down the Nile, not saying anything to anyone, right? I wasn't expecting that because it was not on my radar, but I just opened my heart in a profound way. And later we were swimming in the Nile, and I got this idea to do hands-on healing exchanges with each other. And then that just like it was cold, but then it got warm. Like the amount of energy we started having these experiences of just activating information and healing information from other timelines and from the Nile itself, right? There's codes of information. And so these seemingly small, spontaneous moments, it just was constant activation, 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 as well as with all of the temples and the deities that were there working with us along the way, right? And so working with these sacred places, again, is healing across timelines, it's clearing ancestral and karmic patterns from our lifetimes as well, integrating ancient wisdom for our soul purpose at this time, and aligning our divine masculine and feminine energies, right? These are powerful activations for sure. So those are some of the things, just kind of looking here. Yes. So yeah, so that's some of the things that I experienced. I know that, it's just one of these things that you don't know. I think each person is going to have a different type of experience when they go through it. So I want to share with you something truly special for those of you that feel an invitation, or those who feel like a pull of energy to Egypt in your heart and in your soul. if there's been a stirring there for a while, or even anything we talked about today, right, started to activate something within you. I'm personally leading a 12-day Sacred Soul Initiation retreat to Egypt next October 24th through 4th. Now, last time I ran this, the retreat sold out in 3 weeks. It was like boom, soul. It was like a soul roll call came flooding in. It was powerful. What's also very powerful about this retreat is that we have a lot of exclusive private experience. We have a private pyramid access, like I described. We'll be doing some sound and energy healing, meditative work in the Great Pyramid together with before the public gets there. We also have a private Dahabaya boat, which is something that I didn't have, which I is going to be incredible because we're going to have a private boat to be able to do energy work and sound baths while we sail down the Nile under the stars, a place and a way to integrate and do workshops and activation work. Each of the temples that we're going through is a sacred chakra initiation as well. So we'll be working through in a very powerful way. I'm going to show you, I think the best way, and I'm going to be showing you is on the page there. You'll also see, and this was very channeled as well. You might even just get activations reading the page and looking at some of the pictures that I'm sharing. So I'm going to share the screen in just a second, but it's definitely, a life-changing experience. You're going to be held in a high frequency of five-star accommodations in Cairo, for sure, as well as four-star accommodations in some of the Luxor. That's what's available there. And a private Daha by a boat is definitely exclusive and an experience that most people that I see do not get, right? When I see them offering these retreats online. So let me show you really quick our Egypt page and show you exactly what we're going to be going through, and even just set the intention again to get some activations for yourself right now as we go through. And I took some pictures from inside of the temples there that I shared on here as well. I feel like every time I look at the pictures, even they're just activating. Okay. So let me see if I can get this screen share here. Okay. So here's what the page looks like. And in case you want to follow along, I'll definitely come back to Facebook because sometimes it doesn't let me post these very well um, until after. I'll try. I will try. Yeah, we're going to have to do the Facebook. So you guys are going to have to follow the screen. So here's the 12-day Sacred Soul Initiation, activating your soul's blueprint and unlocking the power of your multidimensional gifts. We have a limited early bonus of $300 off for a limited time as well, which is really powerful. And I think what I'll do to make the screen bigger for you is just do that. Well, it doesn't really help too much, but okay. All right, so there you are. So it's 11 extended payment plans. So I have a very easy and like the easiest, lowest monthly payment I can offer available through October 31st. So you can check this out down below. There is a few single of spot availabilities, but not a lot. So you'll want to, if it's something that if you single is important to you, that's something you want to look at very sooner than later. So there's 3 spots for that. So here's this is Hathor actually. This is one of the powerful pictures. I believe it's Isis and Hathor, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of the temples there. But are you ready to walk this path, right? Call your energy and information back. Over the 12 days, we're going to be going into an initiation of Egypt, balancing and working with one of the chakras at each of the sacred sites, as well as just leading many different types of transformational journeys. And it's going to begin with the crown chakra in the Pyramid of Giza. And then we're going to go through all the way through the root chakra at Abu Simbel. And we'll be embodying activations along the way, activating new codes of energy. Here's inside another one of the pyramids. It's just, you can't even imagine. It's huge for one thing. And the amount of detail work and the color has been preserved from so many thousands of years ago. It's incredible. It's definitely a soul remembrance and a journey that you'll never forget. The highlights of this trip that makes it special is we have private entry to the pyramid. We're going to do a crown chakra and just activation. We'll also go into the Queen's Chamber and activate some feminine energy. We have the private Dahabaya boat, as I mentioned, which is a 19th century style ancient charm with modern comfort boat that you'll have there. to expand your gifts. A lot of integration. I think that's what a lot of people are missing. The boat that I went on had like 120 people, and it was very hard to integrate anything. It was a very intense, a lot of intensity, but then no downtime. And so I'm very excited about that. We will go to the gem at museum in Cairo and see King Tut, which is going to be the King Tut exhibit is pretty amazing. But there's also some other tablets and stones and things and hieroglyphs in there that I definitely got activated on just by being there for sure. It was incredible. And then we're going to go to Sakara and Dashra, which is the throat chakra. We're working that throat chakra into some sacred energy there. Temple of Isis and Phele, which is so beautiful. Sacral chakra activation, emotional healing. The Hanging Church, bridge between heaven and earth. Coptic Christian churches are amazing, even where Jesus and Mary were. Right? It's incredible. And the divine mother energy is palpable as well as the Christ consciousness energy, but it's a very holy space. It's very beautiful. We're also going to go to Luxor and Karnak temples, solar plexus and third eye activations. That's where we'll actually have there is a Sekhmet, a temple of Sekhmet there that we get. And we all took a turn standing right in front of her. And it was like, oh my gosh, I could feel the energy at my third eye. It was definitely a third eye activation. The Valley of the Kings is beyond incredible. This is definitely a past life activation. Even this last summer, when I went back to Egypt, it's like I went in and the walls were breathing. It was just like I could feel lifetimes of energy and information coming back to me as I walked through some of the tombs, which was incredible. Queen Hatshepsut, about stepping into your power. Again, the balance of masculine and feminine. Abu Simbel is going to blow your mind. It's just amazing. There's also the Queen Nefertari there, which is powerful. Would do some root chakra work. Dendera, heart chakra, Hathor goddess, like creativity and the energy of creation is palpable. We're going to go to Kam Ombo, the temple of healing. Where Sobek is, there's actually hieroglyphs that you can see of prescriptions and brain surgery and healing work on the walls from way back when, and you can feel and tap into the energy there. And I actually asked the guide there, he's like, nobody's actually ever asked me that, but I'm like, you can feel the energy. I kept seeing like crystal healing rooms and all kinds of energy. He goes, this is actually was built over some ancient rooms below. And so it was pretty incredible that you could feel that, right? And they validated that. And the Horus at Edfu, which is, of course, truth and justice, purpose and protection. And beyond the sacred sites, we're going to do a lot of energy work together, right? We're going to be working in a safe place together. We're going to be connecting with different Egyptian deities, multidimensional activation, channeled messages, guided journeys. I'm going to invite you to activate your healing energy in the Nile, which is something that was so powerful that of my experience I had there, I wanted to share. High level activations, connection to your divine purpose, your higher self, right? Integration and energy work, time to rest and reflect and integrate. We're going to be, you can come back and read more thoroughly some of the things that we'll be going through here as well. But, again, you're going to be getting the powerful energetic support, alchemical containers. We're going to have an Egyptologist, English speaking guide helping us along the way to interpret all the things that we're seeing in some of the history. And we'll be in 4 and 5-star accommodations, which is really, really powerful. We're going to be going to 4 different places. Egypt is pretty far, right? It's spread out. So we're going to be going to the Sphinx and the pyramids in Cairo, of course, on the opening day. And one thing I want to share that's very important, I think very special as well, is that you get a VIP arrival style. This is important to me to feel, especially because a lot of solo travelers, you're welcome to bring a partner, or I have some people that come with their partner or sons or daughters or whoever, friends. However, there's a lot of solo travelers as well coming to a new country. And so I'm going to have a personal guide meet you at your gate. So you're going to land. You're going to get met at a gate. You're going to skip the visa line. They're going to stamp your visa for you. They're going to walk you through integration. They're going to pick up your luggage with you, and they're going to drive you to our hotel. And same thing, you'll also get dropped back off from the hotel back to the airport, so that you are well taken care of and you don't have to be worried about a thing. Skipping the visa line is kind of cool. It was like an hour. I was like, just kind of pandemonium. Things aren't always as organized in other airports. And I just want you to not feel confused or unsure. And so that they're going to help you from the time you land, right? All the way through that whole process. And that is included. Now, Canada, Europe, America, US, like 150 countries. Almost all countries can get visa upon arrival. It is your responsibility to check and make sure. But again, all the main countries that I just named where I have people traveling from are able to get that. So you do need to research that to make sure you don't need to get it ahead of time, but most 150 countries do not. Most places do not, right? Again, Canada, America, UK, Europe, you can get in on arrival, in which case all that's included. Okay, and if not, we'll still provide transportation for you. It's just the visa part, right? Okay, so then here's the Grand Museum again, just filled with amazing things. We're also going to be going to the church where the Holy Family rested and would flee from the kings. You can see some. It's just incredible where Mary was found to wash Jesus. Like incredible history here, and you can feel it. We're going to go to Saqqara and Dashur, the red pyramid there as well. This is kind of nice to kind of step into first to kind of prepare you for the energy of the pyramids. The next day, we're going to go into the private entrance and tour of the Great Pyramid and the King's Chamber. This is about 4,500 years old. Incredible. After that, we'll go to one of the oldest surviving mosques in Egypt and Africa as well. It's very beautiful. Um, the next day, we'll start to transfer. We're going to be transferring, take us an inner flight. This is covered for you within your retreat cost. We'll fly a short, like it's about an hour, I think, maybe even less, flight to Aswan. I love Aswan. So beautiful. It's a temple of Philae right there, Isis temple. We're going to be going to this is where we'll transfer to the private Dahabaya boat, which I'll show you a picture of in a minute. But we're going to sail down the river or down the Nile River. Yes, this is a Nubian village we're also going to visit. So powerful. We're also going to visit Abu Simbel. This is, look how small these people are. This is made thousands and thousands of years ago. And it just blows your mind, right? I can't remember if it was 70 stories tall, something insane. We're also going to go to Kam Ambo, which is the healing temple. Here's the boat, or it's this style. This might not be the exact picture though, but this is like the style of the boat that we will be on, which is really powerful. To have our own place, right? Do sound healings and energy work. It's going to be incredible. Also going to go to the Temple of Horus and Edfu. We'll be going to, this is Valley of the Kings. Again, the amount of color is just incredible. The energy of the tombs is just, it's alive in there, right? We'll go to Karnak, which is just so impressive. We'll be visiting Dendera and so much more. And then we'll be making our way back home towards Cairo. So the international reports actually will be out of Cairo. And I found out we can leave a little bit earlier than that, even though most of the flights basically are late at night or early in the morning. So we actually got an extra hotel night for you so that you can have a place to rest until your flight happens, because majority of international flights happen between like 10 p.m. or early in the morning. And so that way, whenever your flight is, you have a way there and then to the hotel. And that's that. So if you look on here, there are single and double occupancy. Like there's a $300 off special right now. So you can see the price points that I have here available for you. The longest, most extended payment is $527 a month. Now, something that some people have done is check out on Klarna or Affirm, and I've seen it as low as $185. So if you come over here, I'll show you how you can see if you're eligible and what's available to you. You come in here and you do have to fill out your information. You choose the in full. That's the in full part. And then you come out down here. And instead of putting your credit card in right away, you choose Affirm. It says 201 for me right now. And this says 279. I've seen it as low as 185. It changes and it's based on each person. So you have to just follow that and see. But that's another way that you can try to get a lower monthly payment if that's something that you need, for sure. Let's see. So there's double occupancy there. And then there's also a few single occupancies left as well, if that's important to you. I do have a no cancellation policy on this because it is a high level of overhead having all the private access. And I think so for that reason, I require, not only that reason, but also for medical and other things, I require travel insurance so that there's peace of mind for you and for everybody, for you and for me. So travel insurance is required. So you'll see that there is no refund in that way. Like there's no cancellations because I just can't. There's limited time and there's a lot of high level private access in hotels that I wouldn't be able to be refunded for. So I do need a strong commitment, but there is travel insurance and you can get it to the level of your comfort. I think it's important when you're traveling internationally. The small amount that is for you is peace of mind for you and for me and for everybody who knows what's going to happen in life. But you can't let that stop you. I have lots of people say, but you never know, my this or that. And it's like, yeah, but you never know, right? We never know. And so when if you want, you gotta still plan and live your life, right? And but travel insurance is a way you can do that. And I give you upon registration lots of companies and ideas about where you can go for that. It's not that expensive. It depends on the age and the person and where you're coming from and what level, right? There's anything from medical, from travel interference, or if something happens with a loved one or medically for you, that covers you. And then there's higher level coverage that's like cancel for any reason at any time and I get a full refund. Just like any insurance, there's a range of coverage that you can choose, and that's up to you. But I think I only paid like 250 or $300 or something like that for the basic coverage when I went the first time. So it doesn't have to be super expensive. If you have single occupancy or you want the cancel for any reason, then you'll probably pay a little bit more. Okay. So that's the information there. Let me know too. Like I said, we have a discount of $300 right now. And the most extended payment plan I can offer is only available till the 31st. And then the timeline shrinks, which means the monthly payment shrinks because it does need to be paid in advance of in advance. Now, I have also had people ask me, can I put like $1,000 down and then have smaller monthlies? Absolutely. Reach out to me and we can figure that out. It will require a non-refundable deposit, and then we'll have to have some sort of a like a payment plan in place. But I'm happy to work with you on that. If there's a little bit better way for you to make your payments. I had one person who wanted to do twice a month, like every 2 week kind of payment. So, you know, but the main payment plans that I can offer are there, or again, the Klarna or Affirm is another option. So yes, let me know if you have any questions. I'm going to try to see if I can look on Facebook now as well. Yeah, let me know if you feel called. I would love to meet you in person. I'd love to work energy in person. I know I have some people, I've done it twice this year because again, the first one sold out so fast and people were asking to go again. And I feel that call is there. I don't know if I'll be doing it every year, right? I think some people that are in my community are like, I'll do it next year, next year. Well, I've got 7 retreats on the calendar this year. I can't travel at that high pace forever, right? Right now, I feel super excited about all of the places. I feel like 25 in 2026 is meant for massive soul initiation for whatever's coming in 27. But I'm not promising that I will or I won't. I'm not saying I won't, but I think I just wanted to address that because a lot of people are like, hey, you're doing them, I can just go next time. Maybe, maybe not. If I'm your teacher, then you might want to consider it, right? Because at some point, um, I can't travel that much either, right? I'm traveling a lot over the next this year and next year, and I could see at a certain point there's other places that are calling as well. So we'll see what's to come. I just go in the moment, like kind of 1 year at a time, and I definitely feel called to go back a second time to Egypt during this portal initiation period. So let me know if that resonates for you. Or if you have any questions, you can also comment. But that's a great way to just hit reply to any of my emails. If you're not on my email, I will add that in the details here. Let me see if I can type it in really quick. It's Jen at soulsuccessunleashed.com. There you go. So you can see, feel free to hit reply to any email or reply there. I think it's more solid than on here because sometimes you miss your activations or like you miss the comments. It's easy to miss comments, right? There we go. I'm on Facebook now, so I can put the pages there. All right, but let me see if I see any questions. I will answer them. Otherwise, thank you for joining me. I hope that, whether this trip speaks to you, I would love to support you in seeing how we could make it work for you, right? I know it's going to be an amazing sacred initiation journey. And if I'm not the teacher for you, then find the teacher that is if you're called there, because I cannot express enough how expansive. I had my whole business up level and change and shift and expand exponentially the following months after because my energy shifts, right? As our energy shifts, our life gets to shift, which is really, really incredible as well. So thank you for joining with me. I don't see questions, so I'm going to say goodbye and I look forward to talking with you again soon. All right. Bye for now.